Well, with the luck of the draw, we have another very timely program to experience this week involving the United States Air Force. Our speaker today is Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Ramsey, who is retired from a career in the Air Force, but Colonel Ramsey is a native fellow here at Kingsport in the area, and he has been around the world, and he's back here, retiring here, and then taking up education again. Uh, uh, Colonel Ramsey graduated from South High School, a real local fellow here, and made a good step moving to the University of Tennessee. And apparently it was a joint deal because when he moved to the University of Tennessee, he also joined the Air National Guard at McGee-Tyson Airport. So that was two good licks and certainly got him started on a career. And then he moved to South Carolina for personal reasons and went to the University of South Carolina, which we won't hold that against him because we even have a person that graduated from Georgia here, so we're pretty loose about this. Anyway, he went through the ROTC program at South Carolina and was commissioned as second lieutenant in 2001, and he's toured. He has been very flexible in the Air Force. He retired in the Air Force in 2018 as a lieutenant colonel. So he made the climb as an officer very quickly. I guess if you're at war, things move quicker, and you get quicker, you get in or you get out, one or the other. So anyway, among other things, he had 5 tours in the Middle East. Several of which were involved in managing hospitals that followed the offensive movements of the Air Force, of the Army, of the Air Force, and the Marines. So he had a very special connection with combat. He was in Iraq and also in Afghanistan. He comes from good stock because his father is here with us today, and he's an Air Force graduate himself. So he got a good start at South High School and even before, apparently. So that's certainly in his benefit and ours as well. After Colonel Ramsey retired from the Air Force, he came back to home here in the area, and a year ago he became one of the 2 instructors in the Air Force ROTC program at Dobbins-Bennett, and they have about 120 students involved in the ROTC Air Force program at Dobbins-Bennett, and I think you told me that 2 of the people who are graduating this year are going to the Air Force Academy. So clearly, it's a great step toward a career in the Air Force if you're inclined to do that. And also, one other thing which surprised me is that they have a significant number of women in the Air Force ROTC program, which I guess I just never thought about that, but that's certainly a broadening of the people and the talents that are there. So Lieutenant Ramsey, Colonel Ramsey is going to be talking to us on the outlook for the U.S. Air Force. And if you recall, we had this same thing about the U.S. Army last week. We had the Marine Corps several weeks ago. So everybody in the military has got to look at the world in a different way now because war is not like it was 5 years or 10 years ago. And so we got to be flexible. So please help me join in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Ramsey.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Always a great opportunity to come and speak to you guys. And what I want to be able to do is I'll give you a little bit more from the introduction that Ken gave of my career, so you kind of know a little bit about what I did and where I was. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit about our ROTC program at Dobbins-Bennett, and how the young people that are coming through these programs, and Chief Stidham's program, same way, that are coming through these programs, we want you to see, because a lot of what you do in this community, okay, leads to that. And it leads to that Air Force Academy nomination, and it leads to service. So I want to talk a little bit about that too, about our program, and then maybe ways that we can partner a little bit. And then I'll kind of give you the transformation of the Air Force from my perspective as a medical guy that we did probably 15 years ago as we had to transform into a new, ever-emerging combat environment. And now, like Ken said, the combat environment's even changing even more now. And I have a son who's a Marine stationed down in Kings Bay, Georgia. So I have a lot of vested interest in not only what we did in our history, but where we're going in the future. So real quickly, I was a hospital administrator after I got my commission. Did that in the hospital for about 5 or 6 years. Really wasn't a behind-the-desk kind of guy. Did my first deployment to Afghanistan in 2005 and 6. Went back in 2007 to Kuwait and Iraq. And fortunately, my boss was a flight surgeon that used to be in special operations. And so he talked to me about being a medical planner in special operations. I got a fellowship, was able to go and found my niche once I got in the special operations community. Most of what I did was in charge of special ops surgical teams, a 4-5-man team. So you can think of a huge combat hospital that is in Afghanistan, Kandahar, Kabul, Bagram, a lot of those places, right? That's great if you can get your troop there. But we're SEAL Team 6, a lot of Special Forces, Delta, were operating. It was longer than a 60-minute helicopter ride to a hospital, to level 1 trauma area. So we would move my 5-man team, what we call close to the X at the Y, not on the spot, but near it in a building of opportunity. And everything that they had to do surgical was on their back. Backpacks to do damage control surgery in any room, no power, whatever it was, they could do it. And so that was a huge transformation from when the war first started in 2002. So I'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit about what I know from the Air Force transformation, mission set, and aircraft, and those kind of things. So that's a little bit about me and my background and everything. So I want to kind of go through our mission brief that we give to any organization. Most of the time the cadets give this. JROTC is a cadet-led program. I'm an instructor in charge, but really we're just there to guide them. We want to see what kind of leadership qualities they have. Can they be followers? Can they be good citizens? That's what our mission set is, to develop citizens of character. And so that's what we're there to do. They do not incur a military obligation at all. They can wear the uniform, go through all of that, and at the end of graduation, turn it in and go to college, go to work in the civilian force, whatever it may be. But the traits that they learn, hopefully, will make our society better, make them a better individual. So I'm just going to go through these slides a little bit, kind of give you a little bit understanding what's going on at Dobbins-Bennett and our program. Maybe not. I may just have to do that. Yeah, I'll just do that. All right, this is our flight squadron. We're comprised, each class, we have 4 blocks, 3 of the classes, and we break down into smaller flights each class. Here's our structure. AS1s are freshmen. You can see enrollment this year of about 115. AS1, like I said, are our freshmen, incoming freshmen at 63. And then obviously they start dwindling down. They get credit for wellness, PE. So a lot of times, but they have to do 2 semesters of that. So a lot of times you'll see that number AS2, and once they get that wellness credit, if they're not into it, then usually they punch out, which is okay, because as they get higher in years, the more responsibility, the more rank that's out there, and some of them, that's just not what they're looking for. So, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's the same way. Backwards. That's why it wasn't working. All right. Let's see. So our daily responsibilities, we require leadership every day to form up the flight, to get them together. They say the Pledge of Allegiance. They say our core values. They say the Cadet Honor Code, and they say it every day. We do these things every day so that it's built into their soul and what they want to do outside of ROTC. We want them to say every day, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Because we say that every day in the Air Force, and we believe it. And we want them to be able to do that same deal. Okay. This is our typical week. We do a weekly uniform inspection on Mondays. They have to wear it every Monday. Just one day a week is all they have to wear it. But we'll do a weekly inspection. Second day, we'll usually do some drill and some physical training. Wednesday, we break down into some academics, talk about aerospace science, leadership, management, anything in that realm. We're pretty wide open to be able to teach and give them our perspectives, because we didn't go to school to be teachers. You know, we went to school to be in the Air Force and do what I did. But everything that we learned, and the chief that's with me, that she learned, is what we're passing on. As we put together goals every year, this is what we're teaching them. The goals need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So everything that we make them do, they have to go through this process, so that this process is ingrained into them as they go on and do other things. Some of the goals that they put forth this year, cadets will maintain a GPA in ROTC of 3.0, a unit-wide average of 90% grade on their weekly uniforms. Our school impact goals were to increase our freshmen by 15%, up to 39 more cadets, and then participation in 4 school athletic club events. Just some pictures of some of the things that they do and some of the smiles that you see. Our community impact, we wanted to do 3 collaborative community service events with the environmental club. We ended up doing 6. So we got really involved with them, and we wanted to participate in 5 Kingsport City events, and we ended up doing 7. So they hit that goal. Health and wellness. This is what we're working towards: develop an environment of maximum effort and increase the cadet inclusion and leadership. We do a physical training test. It's a 1-mile run. It's push-ups and it's set-ups, and they have times and numbers that they're trying to get either a gold star, a silver star, or a bronze star. That's our highest, and that all goes into awards at the end of the year, things that a lot of y'all, mayor comes in and presents to us. Military Officers Association Award. So a lot of this stuff goes into that as they compete for those positions and those awards as the year goes on. They have to go through parental consent, PFT activities. So we've got to make sure that medically that they're allowed to do it. We give them PT uniforms. So everyone has a job. And even if you're the lowest person on the totem pole, you still have a job. Your job may just be to be a follower, but that's your job until we give you something else. And so we try to increase that with our incoming freshmen. Here's some of our community events: color guards, football concessions, stadium, community cleanups. We've done some things at NASCAR. Gary set us up with wrestling tournament. So we try to get out as much as possible. We try to field any calls that come in looking for a color guard. We do them at churches. We did it over at the senior center. So we try to accommodate any of those, because it's not only an opportunity to support our community, which we're here to do, but it's an opportunity for these guys to get a leadership opportunity. They put their uniform on, they're going to command a color guard, or they're going to be in front of people. So it's an opportunity every time. I don't care if there's 5 people in the crowd that we're doing a color guard for, it's an opportunity for them to show leadership. And so we try to do as many as we can. About 6 average per cadet, first and second semester. First semester is usually a lot heavier in community service. Of course, that involves Veterans Day, so we get a lot of opportunities for community service during that. But you can see we hit quite a bit of hours. This year, I want to say we were at about 1,700 hours for the unit. CIA trips, it's called Curriculum in Action. We try to do a trip every year to an Air Force base, and my goal is to give each opportunity. If they're there for 4 years, they're going to get to see a different mission set of the Air Force all 4 years. So this past year, we went to Langley Air Force Base. They have the F-22s, so it's a fighter base. Next year, we're looking at probably going down to Herbert Field, which is a special operations base. We'll go to a heavy operators base. So that's our goal, is to try to really give them a full sense of what the Air Force looks like, from job one to being a pilot. So we try to do that. We did go to Langley this year. Our STEM and activities, of course, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's a big, huge push, obviously, in the education world, and in the Air Force world, it's no different. Our drill team, we do a number of drill meets locally and outside of the area. It's a great opportunity for them to learn precision, attention to detail, leadership, followership, you name it. Almost everything we teach comes out in drill and marching. It's our color guard, some pictures from Bristol. We have a saber team that performs very similar type things as color guard. A marksmanship team. Our awareness presentation team. So this is where we're really trying to find those middle schoolers that may be interested in ROTC. So we go to Robinson and Sevier. We just switch off every other Monday, one to Robinson and then next week to Sevier. And so we take rockets. You can see we do flag folding, flag ceremonies. We just talk to them about being an ROTC member, being a cadet, good citizenship, All those things that we teach, we're looking for them to teach the younger ones. And they do a really, really good job at it. We not only want people to be involved in ROTC and things that we do, but we also want them to be involved in extracurricular activities, whether it be sports or band or a key club or whatever it may be. We try to encourage that. So in our past, it's been now 17 years in a row, but we've been 11 distinguished unit, 11 years distinguished unit, and 4 years distinguished unit with merit. Here's some of our accomplishments, going to academies, going to the Citadel. So that's our JROTC program. So as far as the Air Force goes, when the war first started, we were really heavy. You've probably seen it on TV, especially invasion into Iraq was really heavy. And the type of equipment that we had to fight the type of war that we trained for was not there. We tried to make it into the kind of war that we trained for, but it wasn't. And you saw that as the war went on throughout the years. But we did transform a lot, and it wasn't just the Air Force, it was each one of the services. That was part of the mission set, part of the call, in that you need to be lighter and leaner and probably do it with less people. And that's been really the stick for a long, long time. And obviously, as we look at current operations, as the B-2 did its magnificent deal showing the massive air power that we have, those kind of aircraft have capabilities that are outside and amazing of what they can do to protect us, whether it's troops on the ground or even the United States of America. So even though we still fly B-52s, they're still in use. We still fly C-130s, they're still in use. And those are old aircraft, but they get the job done. They get the job done. And until another aircraft comes along that's going to get the job done, the Air Force is going to continue to try to find the right mix. And you can see in the B-2, started 20 years ago, probably, if not longer, and got into service. And now you're seeing, the fruits of the stealth capability that it has, and the 36 hours of flying, which is the second longest. The longest one was a trip to Afghanistan and back to Barksdale Air Force Base, I believe it was, a B-52. But just the capability of those pilots and that aircraft and that technology, the Air Force is moving into a way of being that lighter, leaner, more lethal force. And the future is a lot of unmanned aerial vehicles. That's just the future. Drones, things that are not going to put our service members in harm's way if it can get the job done, which is great, but it's difficult. Obviously, now we have to learn to defend ourselves from that capability. So the technology and the movement of each one of the services, the Air Force is no different. And how they have learned to transform their mission sets from tactical air command to air combat command to air mobility command. All of our missions are really stovepiped in that capability. So if it's a C-5 aircraft, their primary mission set is mobility, moving troops, moving bullets, beans. So they're really good at doing that. The fighters, the F-22s, the F-35s are really good at what they do. The special operations community, AC-130 gunships, are really good at what they do. So the transformation, I think you'll see, hopefully we will not need them. Hopefully it's a deterrent more than actually something that has to be put into use for our sake, for my son's sake, and for anyone that's serving. I don't wish upon them the 16 of my 23 years that was at war on anybody. So, so that's kind of the transformation. What I want to tell you as Aquana's organization is everything, all those pictures you see up there and all those things that feed into that, okay, your organization and others that support this community and these kids is a direct result to that. I can guarantee you that. Because what you guys do and how you partner with different other organizations to bring about and bring up the needs of those that can't really makes a difference. And so volunteering, anytime that you guys need volunteering, I hear you're going to be doing something here in a couple of weeks. We always are willing to push out our cadets, get them out into community, let them see the volunteering that you all are doing. I would rather have them stand next to one of you all and you talk about the Kiwanis and you talk about Kingsport and you talk about those things than for them to just be sitting at home playing on PlayStation or whatever, right? So anytime that we can help on that end. The other thing that I wanted to kind of bring up, and I talked with Ken about it a few weeks ago when we met, that we're looking to do an event, hopefully in the fall, maybe have to be in the spring, of memorializing the Bataan Death March. 14 miles. If anybody knows that story, it's an incredibly sad story, incredibly courageous story, and so we are looking to do a 14-mile walk in Kingsport somewhere, and we stop along the way and we talk about stories and things that happened during the Bataan Death March, to just give these cadets more information about our history and what the sacrifices that were made so that they can do what they're doing and we can do what we're doing. So there's opportunities there for sure for us to be able to partner with you. So I want to thank you for the time. I don't know if I went too long, too short, or what, but I can entertain any questions.